Sometimes you need to get knocked down before you can really figure out what your fight is and how you need to fight it. Sometimes you need to feel the pain and sting of defeat to activate the real passion and purpose that God predestined inside of you. God says in Jeremiah, I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Hear me well on this day. This day when you have reached the hilltop and you are deciding on next jobs, next steps, careers, further education. You would rather find purpose than a job or a career. Purpose crosses disciplines. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. When God has something for you, it doesn't matter who stands against it. If it's meant for you, God will move someone that's holding you back away from a door and put someone there who will open it for you. I don't know what your future is, but if you're willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it. Press on with pride and press on with purpose and appreciate what God has brought you through.
Two, three, four.
I was born by the river in a little tent, and oh, just like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. It's been too hard to live it, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause who knows what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming. I know, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. And then I go to my brother, and I say, brother, help me please. And he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Whoa, there've been times that I thought, whoa, I would last too long, but now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Oh, yes it will. It's it's gonna change. It's gonna change. Oh, yes, it will.
Zeta Phi Beta's got soul. Zeta Phi Beta's got soul. Zeta Phi Beta's got soul. I love my Z5. I love my Z5. Zeta Phi Beta's got soul. I love my Z5. I love my Z5. Zeta Phi Beta's got soul. I love my Z5. I love my Z5. Zeta Phi Beta's got soul. Soul.
everybody, it's Lloyd Spence, and BetOnline and I would like to wish you a happy new betting year as we continue our march to the playoffs and beyond. BetOnline remains the number one spot for all the best sports wagering action for 2022. It's a new year and new updated desktops and mobile websites to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, to get started. From football, basketball, and hockey, boxing and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games, don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for 2022. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. And tell them the Noisemaker sent you.
Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Can I make you groove now? Yes, I can. So you can get this groove in the back of a can. Let you make it round the world and it holds in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Welcome to Talkin NOIZ, the daily podcast that brings you up to speed and keeps you informed about real issues affecting real people. With your host, Mr. Talkin NOIZ himself, Lloyd Spence. His beautiful wife, Mrs. Noise, Kenyatta Spence. The ever-informed Brother Noise, Alan Brown. And yours cordially, Uncle Noise, Shake Anderson. Come on in and join us as we reveal and opine today's most pressing issues. Real truth while having real fun. Talkin NOIZ is in your house right now. So sit back and enjoy Talkin NOIZ.
2, 1, 1, ready, man.
I've been up early. Now I'm running for the second show.
Not getting hustle, not getting hustle. Keeping your head up the water.
That one girl looked disinterested in the video.
Good time. Good time. Good time.
I'm at the dub in the right word.
Good time. Hey, we lucky we got 'em. Good time.
I love it every day. All right. Man, should be a good show today. Should be a wonderful show today. I'm excited. Are you excited? I hope you're excited out there. But like anything, you have to start properly. And so we start with the call to worship. Al Brown.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here once again in the sight of God and in the sight of man to make noise. If there are any amongst you, brothers and
Yes, sir.
we ask now that you come. As humble as you know how, just come. Find your way to the nearest available pew. Grab your bulletin and your fan and make noise with us.
Hallelujah. With a J. Yes, yes, yes. He's worthy. Make it like a high, make a hiney ho. Samalawatina ding dong ding. Yes, he's worthy. Come on, preacher.
Negroes are a fool around here.
What's going on, people? Talkin NOIZ. It's Mama Noise, Al B. And Mama Noise and Al B got on their U of L gear because they petty. Both of them. Petty. They're bringing big petty energy this morning.
Are we?
No, absolutely not.
A man gets fired and now you all both U of L'd out?
Today is game day.
Today's price.
That's why you muted yourself. Even God is in disagreement.
I'm not muted.
Well, you were. Your mouth was just moving.
Because I'm shocked. I didn't know what to say.
No.
Today's price.
Because both of y'all are petty. Both of y'all, it's women's, yeah, true enough, women's game day. I get it. That's true. But still, though.
Red is for resurrection.
Still, though.
Oh, come on.
Chad might be petty, too. He says the aroma of butterscotch.
Chad is petty, but he's still bitter from 2013, so I understand.
Oh, he is bitter. Listen, don't bring up 2013, bro. He don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
He don't like it. He don't like
I
it.
could swear I saw somebody curled up like a baby, sucking their thumb in the concourse as we were trying to get closer to the floor for the celebration. I could have sworn.
That's right, Chad.
Pretty sure.
That's right, Chad. Hey, calm down, buddy. Hey, buddy.
Oh, man.
Hey, buddy. Don't need for that kind of
Did
violence.
you just see the angry emoji?
I mean, it came up fast.
I starred you, Russ Smith and Luke Hancock and Montrezl Harrell. Why
And
couldn't
Peyton.
you just, if it wasn't for you meddling kids?
And Peyton, don't forget Peyton. Peyton was the one that
Well, you absolutely
was goaltended, or Peyton, or you got the goaltending call. So, you know. Anyway, Catherine, good to see you, cuz.
You meddling kids.
I know, right? Doggone shame.
No, but
By the way,
this is solely because it is game day, and you know I dress accordingly for game day. Minus the Lakers. I find it hard to even wear Lakers gear. I don't have much of it, but that I have, I choose not to even pull it out of the closet.
I got you. By the way, shout out to our organ player today, who was a Wahite man. I forget where he's from, but he was killing that organ. He definitely been around black people all his life because that he made that thing talk.
I'm sure Facebook could tell us in a minute.
About what?
man, somebody state claim to this
Again?
video. I'm just saying. I'm sure they will, just in case we don't give proper credit to the responsible for the music.
You let Facebook tell it. We just egregious.
Right.
Continually.
I mean, man, geez. But shout out to YouTube who loves us dearly and welcomed us back with open arms.
They just don't know.
They just don't know it. Right. Talkin NOIZ live podcast on YouTube. Check it out. All right. Got a good one, another good one for you. Hope y'all ready. And tomorrow, let me talk about tomorrow's show too. Tomorrow's show gonna be fun because we're gonna celebrate all things black tomorrow on Black Friday. This might possibly be the blackest show we've ever had. I ain't gonna hold you. We're gonna celebrate some black
eyes
stuff. Well, I don't know about that, black ice, but
black magic. We're gonna celebrate
not really that. Like black
ice.
People. Stuff that
the
black
negative
people,
connotations that are associated with black. I'm just making sure they're not on the itinerary agenda for tomorrow.
No. This is all black stuff that's positive and fun. So we're gonna have a celebration of all things black to get you ready for Black History Month.
I'm just trying to figure out how we end up being the ones.
Come on with the segue, man.
What do you mean?
I like how you segued into Black History Month.
That's what I was trying to do. Was Mama NOIZ talking about how we get to be the ones?
I don't understand how the color black end up being all things bad.
Oh! Don't get me going, Mama NOIZ. I just ranted about that like a week or two ago.
Yeah,
I don't because this morning on.
So you gonna get him going anyway, huh? He just said don't get him going.
No, I'm just saying this morning on CNN they were talking about the truck slid off the interstate because of black ice.
When your finance books don't add up correctly, you in the negative. It's you in the
red.
Why can't everything else? I'm just saying.
Why can't it be
everything else?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see where you're going with that. You had me lost for a second, then you brought me back in.
I'm with it. Money and power. They gotta change things up. I digress.
Okay.
I'll blame you for that, Mama NOIZ.
If Chad's emoji post was a person.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. I don't even know where to go from that. That was pretty good. That rant was pretty good. I want to start today's show off by saying the problem. I want to start today's show off. And the problem is Mama NOIZ. Because you can't control a phone. How you been on this show 2 years and still can't control your phone?
Because you be having days and I don't do all of that.
Bruh, cut her some slack, man. She's ushering today. She's trying to stand at the door and let everybody in. Get them to their seats.
Well, maybe we need to take you off the usher board.
She got Twitter. She's got YouTube.
I am trying to
Instagram.
navigate.
She's trying to usher everybody to the pew. Come on.
No, I ain't standing for it.
Thank you, Al. I appreciate your advocacy.
You can't have a call to worship and then shut the door.
I mean, just rawr.
That's how you sound when you got your phone on.
Really?
Man, it seems like just an hour and a half ago he was shouting you out for how much love he had for you.
I mean, listen, ebbs and flows, brother.
Listen, it goes up, it goes down. See me now. We'll see how this goes. That's pretty good, Mama NOIZ. Ebbs and flows. That was good. I like that.
Fact.
This is a weird day already. Let me just start by saying that. First of all, any rapper calling himself NBA Youngboy clearly doesn't understand the assignment. But
did he play in the NBA?
No, he's never been in the NBA in his life. No. NBA stands for something else. I'm not sure what it stands for.
Is it NBA, a child of an NBA player?
Mama NOIZ. We're moving on from the name. It's a jacked up name that sucks.
Well, now, I'm trying to get some clarity because I don't know.
Here's the clarity. We're moving on. because that ain't even the story. The story is that they raided his house a few minutes ago and seized multiple weapons and arrested 3 men. Well, they raided his mama's house. How about that?
His mama's house?
Yes.
Oh, no.
They
Can't
raided
even
his house.
safe at mama's house.
Yeah. Now, to be clear, neither he or his mama were arrested. But the 3 men that was staying with at the house, they were all arrested.
Were they staying there voluntarily?
Mama Noise, if you give me a second, I'll tell you the story.
Oh, okay.
Stop interrupting. Ebbs and flows, remember?
Ebbs and
right,
flows.
Right now, you in the ebb.
Yeah, I want to be in the flow because the ebbs be getting me fussed out.
Can I just pull out my proverbial highlighter while we're right there pausing?
Please, Al, save us from ourselves. Please.
No, y'all good.
Please, Jesus.
This is not his mama's house.
This is not his mama's house.
He owns the house.
He bought the house for his mom.
She might be the one residing there full time most of the time. And you know how you do something good for your mama, but he owns the house.
Oh, okay.
So this is not Sharon the Galden's house.
No, he owns the house.
Okay, all right. Well, they raided his house where his mama was chilling at, I guess, with 3 other dudes.
Was he there?
I don't know, but the dudes was there. And I guess she stayed there from time to time. I don't know the setup.
He stayed there from time to time.
I'm just saying, because ain't this the same young boy that just got out of prison?
These are facts. That's facts.
A couple of months ago.
That's right.
These weapons would be in violation of his
parole.
Little bit.
I'm just saying.
It would be a violation of his parole.
And by the way, for clarity, Mama Noise, the NBA stands for Never Broke Again.
So his full name
FBI just said we'll see about that.
What is happening right now?
His rap name is Never Broke Again, Young Boy.
Yes. But he don't say never broke again because that's too many words. He just said NBA young boy.
Take away some of the words. I mean, is it by force?
He did take away. He initialized them and said NBA young boy.
Then just call yourself NBA then, because all that young boy.
He can't call himself NBA. That's a copyright infringement.
Then young boy then.
He don't want. There's too many young boys out there.
NBA YA. Oh my gosh.
You know what? Get over
call
it.
Yourself Lil Wayne. Little baby.
This show is way out of control today. Way out of control. But anyway, that just happened a few minutes, not too long.
NBA parolee.
Oh.
No. Okay. Now you do know that. Well, I don't know what you know. Are you done?
I'm done with that story for sure.
Are you done?
I'm done with that story for sure.
This raid was associated with aggravated assault, attempted murder back in November.
Right.
The victim did not die from the gunshots to the body and the head. So I don't know if these weapons are going to be linked to that or what the case may be. But
isn't he on house arrest?
At his house.
Be on something. He should be on something.
At his house, he's on house arrest. I don't think
he's on house arrest. It was his house. We just said it was his house.
No, he owns the house. He, like, you know, all these NFL, NBA players that buy their mama a house, but they names on the deed. They mama and them live there, but that's not their house. Their house is somewhere else.
Well, wherever his house is,
little NBA got his own house somewhere else.
Well,
trying
he is on home incarceration, but that would be in Utah, in which is the state with where he was.
Why he way up there? He from there?
That's where he was convicted, and
he can't leave the state.
That's where the crime went down.
So he got to stay in the state.
You got to stay where you. Yeah, you can't just be running around all willy nilly.
Well, you let him out all willy nilly.
We're not trying to pay all that.
But they let him out because he served his time.
Did he serve his time or did he tell on a bunch of people?
Don't do that. Don't be that. Don't be that girl. You don't know that. You can't just float it. Listen, that's how Tasha K's ass got busted up. You can't just say shit. You can't do that.
I'm asking.
He asked the question.
Oh, you didn't ask. You floated something out there.
I asked the question.
Listen, I'll say this: asking the question, when they come for the money, I'm gonna send them to you.
She said, I quote, did he do his time or did he do a bunch of snitching?
I don't know.
See, that's all you had to say then. Ain't nobody trying to toss your cane up in here. I asked the question.
You're dangerously close.
No, Tasha K declared these things. I'm saying, is that the case?
I have a question for you, Text. What are y'all called?
Texans.
I have a couple of questions for you, Texans.
What are we called?
Why are they confiscating guns? I thought y'all didn't do that in Texas. Everybody.
Listen.
I thought everybody should have guns in Texas.
Everybody does have guns, not legally.
Not legally. What happened?
Not legally. Some people have guns that are illegal.
Well, they were saying you don't have to have this and you don't have to have that.
You have to buy your guns through the proper channels.
Is there a proper channels? I thought they just lifted all that.
Yes. No, you have to buy through the proper channels. Walmart.
That is not a proper channel.
So it can be taxed.
So
they can get a pinch off the
right.
You must buy your handguns at the Piggly Wiggly.
You can't buy your guns through Ray Ray. You got to buy through Walmart, Family Dollar.
So what if you meet Ray Ray in the parking lot of Walmart?
No. You got to go. Ray Ray got to have on a Big Lot shirt and be working and have a W-2 from Big Lots. You can't just buy something from Big Lots and then sell it to you. That's not how this works.
You know what? I just had a thought. I really do think that Walmart needs to do a documentary.
Your thoughts scare me. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Walmart needs to do a documentary. So much criminal-minded stuff has happened at Walmart.
No, they didn't. Stop saying you're gonna get us sued. You know what?
No, you hold on.
You be quiet. The thoughts of
Stop muting me and hold.
The thoughts of Kieta Spence
Stop
are hers
muting
and hers alone. So when you call in the court, that's who you call.
And me.
Look, the
night,
following statements are those of Kieta Clark Spence only.
Right.
Last night,
Bambi.
on
the legal document, put Bambi.
Are you done?
No, Bambi.
Last night on the news, a woman approached a woman wanting to buy her baby for $50,000 at Walmart. And all she was trying to do,
Walmart wasn't a part of it.
I'm saying
they didn't negotiate the deal.
Drama, the book should be titled "The Drama at Walmart" because Walmart be having stuff popping off.
No,
what kind of baby, first of all, is worth $50,000?
And then when the lady didn't want to, she didn't accept her offer. She followed out to the parking lot and said, "What about $100,000?"
Hold on, wait a minute. You pause for a second. Al, you don't think your children are worth at least $50,000?
Give me $500.
Wow.
Depending on the time of year, it might be 2 for 1. BOGO. Buy one, get one.
BOGO? Oh.
Buy one, get one.
Dang.
Oh my God. 50,000. Shit, I'm about to be like Nick Cannon. I'm just out here.
Damn. You about to be Johnny Appleseed out here.
Having raffles.
All right. This show is off the chain. I mean, but it is in alignment with today's theme. So I think we're right where we need to be. You don't have to do that, baby. I think people get the comedy.
No, it's y'all's fault. Is she following y'all's?
But now we do need to sanction you and censure you. You gonna get us in trouble with Walmart. I might want that deal still. The TVs are nice in the back.
Well, you better pay for it at the front, or else alarm will go off.
No, see, that's what I'm talking about. You can't say that.
They did it to me. I can attest. That's a testimony.
Okay, all right. Well, that's fair then. That's all right.
When she looked back over her life, and she thinks things over, she can truly say, Oh.
You know what? It doesn't work as well as I thought it would with the clap because I'm stopping, but you can't hear the stop. It just sounds like a clap.
All we have is your echo.
No, it's Mama Noise's microphone.
Lies.
I just muted her. Did the echo stop?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, then. Yeah, you know what to do, Mama Noise.
Then I need to talk to production about getting.
Production muted you.
Yeah, production ain't here. Production is not here for your complaint.
Need a new microphone.
Yeah,
that's just rude as hell. I just want you to know that.
Yeah, complaint department is not open during actual production hours.
Right, that's a different department. Don't
you know what, Al?
All right, we really do have to get to the actual start of the show. I had a chance to see the interviews with Antonio Brown, both the I Am Athlete and the HBO Real Sports with Brian Gumbel, which, by the way, man, Brian Gumbel look old. Woo!
That's his brother on NFL.
That's his brother, Greg. Yeah. But yeah, he looked old. I didn't realize he had gotten old that fast. Like he looked older. Maybe we all look old, and I'm in denial. I don't know, but
maybe somebody told him it was he was a zaddy and thought that he needed to keep all of that happening.
That's why I'm gonna go get this just for men.
I'm gonna get the cocoa bean.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm rocking with it. I'm gonna make it look good. But anyway,
yeah, you do.
But I've been doing it for 40 years.
I know, right? You know what? The shade is not necessary. That seems. But anyway, I saw the interview, and more specifically, the one from I Am Athlete, and because I speak fluent Ebonics, I was able to interpret a lot of what Antonio Brown was saying. And it was interesting. I'm not saying I agree, but I will say this. I don't think he is as crazy as I initially thought that he might have been. I think his interpretation of the facts may be skewed some. And I think his choice of response may not have been the best. But at the same time, I have a much better and clearer understanding of where his thought process was. And it reminded me of something that took place some months back with Busy Bone. During the verses, was it Busy Bone or Lazy Bone? One of them bones.
Neck bone.
Shin
bone.
Yeah. When at the verses where Juicy J said something and called him what did he call him? He called him a little B or something like that. And he responded the way he did, ready to fight. I think we're using crazy oftentimes maybe too fast to assess some people. Maybe. Although some things, the moment might be crazy, but the actual person may not be. And so it brought me to this thing, because right now we're in the greatest renaissance thinking of mental health we've ever been in, ever. Like we've never talked about mental health as much in the Black community as we talk about it now. So it's interesting to me. But it brought me to this thought process. Are we calling people crazy faster than they should be called crazy? The person being crazy, as opposed to the act that they may or may not have committed. Is Ari Lennox, I heard an interview, not even an interview, she went live on Instagram, Ari Lennox. and she was talking about her life and just everything she had been through. And after she finished, I gotta be honest with you, I was like, "Whew, you got a lot going on mentally. You got a lot going on. You're all over the place, and you can hear it. You can hear the stress. You can hear the frustration." So with her saying, "I want to leave my label right now," with her saying, "Nobody protected me during this interview," with her saying a lot of the things that she's saying, I get why or where she is. She's not in a good mental place. And so crazy may be dismissive. And I wonder sometimes, are we dismissing people too fast by calling them crazy and not really hearing what they're saying? And then you get to the backside of their pain and it's too late, i.e., Regina King's son. And also, I don't know, some of you may or may not be familiar with this guy, but Mark Mattson, who was one of the characters in one of the movies I like, Reservoir Dogs, and also he was in Kill Bill. His son, ironically, at age 26, just committed suicide. And so I'm wondering, are we calling people crazy who are just living their mental trauma out loud? And that's not fair. Like, is it not? Is an act crazy or is the person crazy? Is it? Are we dismissing them as something that they are? It's deeper than just, or it's not as simple as crazy. What is actually? You know what? Here's a question for you. What does crazy really mean? Like, what is the definition of crazy? Does anybody know? Wow.
Well, I mean, we can speculate that we believe that crazy means somebody that's not what would be deemed normal.
Normal?
Normal meaning that you don't follow the guidelines or like all of a sudden you're driving down the street and somebody speeds up real fast, cuts in front of you, and then stops on the brakes. First thing you say is, "What, are you crazy?" Because that's not something that they're supposed to do. The norm is for them to just ride beside you or ride in front of you or behind you at the speed that's designated on the side of the road for all drivers. So, I mean, it's the guideline. If you're following within the guidelines, you're not considered crazy. But when you follow outside the guidelines, then that's when somebody deems you crazy. That's just my opinion.
Oxford, according to Oxford, some of these, or at least one of these, would apply. One of these definitions would apply to Antonio Brown.
Okay, I'm listening.
Crazy, informal, adjective. 1, mentally deranged, especially as manifested in a wild or aggressive way.
Okay.
2, extremely enthusiastic. As an adverb, extreme.
Oh, extremely.
What does deranged mean? You said mentally deranged. What does that mean? He's deranged.
Let's go.
I'm just curious. Man, that dude is deranged.
Mad or insane.
Mad or insane.
And if you ask me what insane means, I'm going to scream.
I won't ask.
I'm going to show you crazy.
Wow. I'll just look it up. I don't want to.
No, I'm kidding. I'm right there.
All right.
In a state of mind which prevents normal perception or behavior or social interaction, seriously mentally ill, shocking or outrageous.
Well, then we might be insane. This show is shocking every day.
Mm-hmm.
Insanely good.
Okay.
No Thursday.
Nope.
in a state of mind which prevents normal perception. Wow, this. So are we crazy? Because I don't know if we fit the normal perception. I don't know if we fit normal standards, and I wonder. Well, this is just different. Normal perception, behavior, or social interaction. When you get into the weeds of this definition, I'm wildly uncomfortable with it now.
Well, then if you look at normal, what is normal?
What is normal?
Conforming to a standard,
Uh-oh.
usually typical or expected. The usual, average, or typical state or condition.
Uh-oh. It feels like we've created a word in society to confine those who choose or who do not have the capacity to follow that which we as a society deem to be acceptable. So we're saying, if you can't follow my rules, my patterns, my thought processes, you must be crazy.
So it would be better suited if we just be honest with ourselves, quit mislabeling folks and say, you, sir, are different.
But I can't gain anything if I call you different. Maybe the reasoning behind calling you crazy is to create an opportunity to gain a measure of mental, emotional, and psychological leverage against you so that I can gain some outcome that I deem what I want. For example, we see it in the school system all the time. This young kid is they don't use the hardcore terminology as crazy, but they'll say he's mentally challenged. And we need to do an assessment on him or her and see if they are normal or not. And then when they're not, they assess something called a 504 to you.
Yeah.
You are challenged mentally. You're not normal. Well, the reality is I'm not your normal.
Mm-hmm.
I learn differently than you are able to teach me. And because, it's amazing to me. We've told this story, my wife and I, privately, and we don't mind telling it publicly. when our oldest daughter, the lovely moderator of this show, Azaria Spence, was in third grade, second or third grade. Third grade. She was third grade. We were called into a meeting at the school, and they said, Mrs. Spence, we got a problem. Azaria she's not normal. She doesn't learn right. She's not moving at the same pace of the rest of the class. She's not functioning on the same level. It's not going to work. We need to do something different. Huh? What do you mean? She can't get it. She can't figure it out. She's not it. So what we want to do is we want to label her as this thing. She's special ed. Huh? What is that? What do you mean she's special ed? I talk to Azaria every day. She's completely normal. She's aware of her surroundings. She's very intelligent. She's smart. What do you mean? No, not by what we deem normal. Really? Yep, she can't do it. It's not going to work. Fast forward to her graduation. She finished in the top of her class. She finished with a 3.7 something, 7.8 something. I don't know what it was. It was some ridiculous number. She's trilingual. Well, she was trilingual then. Now she's like, I don't even know what lingual she is. Quintuple lingual. I don't know what it is. The chick speaks a lot of languages. It's amazing what we call crazy because it doesn't fit into the box that we want it to fit in. And I'm starting to wonder, am I part of the problem? Because I've called people crazy. I called Antonio Brown crazy. And then I actually listened to him and I said, oh, you're not crazy at all. You're just different. Your experiences are different. Your the way you process it is different. It's not the same as the way I would have processed it. And then here's what was really interesting about the interview. I don't know if you guys saw the I Am Athlete interview. Brandon Marshall, who is basically the owner, creator, whatever, of I Am Athlete, was trying to interview Antonio Brown as if he was going to help him through his crazy. He was going to redeem him from his crazy. And he came off looking crazy. Brandon Marshall did. Brandon Marshall, it was a horrible interview from Brandon Marshall because he wouldn't listen to what Antonio Brown was saying. He wouldn't listen. He was so busy trying to teach him and validate that he wasn't crazy that he himself came off looking crazy. And I'm going, bro, just be quiet and let the man talk. I promise you, if you let him talk in his interview, you're going to see what he's trying to say. Because I kept wanting him to be quiet and say, just let Antonio answer the question. And when he finally did that, his answer was interesting. I'm not saying I completely agree, but I understood what he was saying. He said, man, from where I'm from, if a man says to me what's the guy's name? Bruce Arians said to me, we will react a certain way. And according to Antonio Brown, Bruce Arians said to him, F you, you're off this team. You're done. And did him like this. You're done. Well, I know hood Jews that if somebody said F you, you're done, they would have reacted similar to Antonio Brown.
If not worse.
If not worse. Most of the guys that I grew up with would have teed off on him right there on the sideline. We'd had a whole nother story. So I don't know if that's crazy. If because now you're saying what I've been through has made me crazy. My ability to process has crazified me, if I can use that as a word. I'm crazified now because I don't process things the way that you process them. So that makes me abnormal. I don't know if that's fair.
That's part of the major. That's part of the problem. Is whose definition or whose, that's like house rules when it comes to Uno.
Yeah.
Depending on where you're at, what's normal. My background, this is normal. From where you're from, that's not normal. In your environment, it may not be normal, but in my environment, it is.
And Donald, you're 1,000% correct. Brandon is always pushing mental health. That is his big thing because he is a product of counseling and an advocate of counseling and therapy and those type of things. Nothing wrong with that. But one of the key components to mental health and therapy is listening and hearing the person speak. You can't fix a problem you're not willing to listen to. And if you come with a predisposition of what you think a person is or is saying, you really aren't helping them according to what the actual issue is. You're trying to place a label upon them based on what you think they are, which is more in alignment with what we do societally. We try to say, oh, that is so for that reason, I went back and I watched a video here recently of Chloe Bailey singing. She did a new Instagram thing where she's singing the old Minnie Riperton song, Loving You is Easy Because You're Beautiful. That one. And I listened to what she was doing, but I also watched what she's doing. And I realized she's not crazy. To me, my assessment of her is that she's frightened. Because she is now in a situation where she is used. Now, and by the way, I don't know if you guys know the song, that Minnie Riperton song. That's a hard song to sing, especially at the end when you got to hit that high note. That's a hard song to sing. She sang it with ease, but at the same time, she's trying to give you the sexy image that she's cultivated. So she's got her lips poked out and her chest poked out, and she's sitting there in a sexy tight dress, and her breasts are poking, and so she's giving you the vocals, and she's giving you the visual, and she's trying to give it all to you. She's not crazy. She's freaking out because somebody told her, in order to normalize yourself to people, you've got to present yourself this way. I wonder sometimes if we're creating the crazy that we're calling. I told you in the advertising, this is going to be a deeply candid conversation about mental health. Sean said that's why our kids struggle in school and life in general. We let them put these labels on our kids. And I'm going to tell you something, Sean. You are 1,000% correct. And I will say this as a parent who has lived through it. If you don't fight for your kids, they will absolutely label them and call them exactly what I just said. And that label will follow them the rest of their life.
I mean, let me just tell you, the one thing that Azaria was challenged was test anxiety. Somebody that I got the word test just freaked him out. That's not justifiable cause to be put into a category because you saying, just give me more time to take the test or give me a quiet environment, which technically should be provided for them. If you're in the classroom, the teacher should be able to keep the class quiet in order to take a test. And if you say, I need more time to take the test without the distractions of people around me, okay. But to go ahead and say, okay, we're going to just label you a person who has test anxiety. So now, when I worked for Collin County Community College here in Texas, or now Collin College, they would send you to me where I worked in student development in the testing center. They send you to a whole nother part of the college in a room where you're just by yourself, where it's quiet, and you can test as long as you need. So that's a reason to put somebody, to label somebody is because they need more time or because they need a quiet environment.
Well, you are so true, Lloyd, and here's how detrimental that is. When the school year starts and we get our bus routes, and the first week of school, a representative from the school comes out with this big stack of red folders. And in those red folders is the students who have been diagnosed, labeled with special needs, behavior disabilities, whatever the case may be. We call them red folder kids. But immediately, before even having any interaction, now you have someone else's package, how they wrapped it.
Yeah.
And handed it to you. And sometimes the package or the wrapping of the package means more or carries more weight than what's actually in the box itself.
I just saw an episode of my new favorite show, Abbott Elementary.
I have not seen the episode, so tread lightly.
Oh no! Okay,
tread lightly.
I won't give the whole episode away, but I will tell you the episode is about what we're talking about now. The transfer of a young lady from one class to another because of her challenges. And it was interesting because one teacher was like, I've done all I can do. And the other teacher was like, I think I can break through here. And it's amazing the interpretation that both teachers had. And then when you see how it ends, you go, wow. Wow. I can tell you from my own life experience, initially, teachers thought something was wrong with me. I had it may have been right, I don't know. But I had a lisp, a little bit of a lisp. Well, not a lisp, but I had a
speech impediment.
I had a very strong speech impediment. And so much so that I had to go see a speech pathologist. Yeah, speech pathologist when I was young. So they thought something was wrong with me. They thought, man, this dude has some real challenges and issues. He may not make it. So then they tested me. They tested me in an IQ test to see exactly where my mental state was and how bad was this situation. They found out immediately, not only is this dude not mentally challenged, but he's gifted. And I immediately went from kindergarten to first grade. And then I would split the day from first grade on half the day in first grade and the other half in second grade. And that went on through all the way through fourth grade. I would split half the day in third grade, half the day in fourth grade. It was weird because I was like, I thought, but I never forgot that I was going to that speech pathologist and had these quote unquote challenges. So I had to fight through that label, and then it wasn't until later I started to realize, oh no, I'm pretty smart. But if you listen to what people their initial assessments of you, you'll be labeled as this thing. And some people never get past the thing.
A whole lot of people that are highly intelligent are deemed somebody who's challenged in some way. What was it? Beethoven or no, Einstein? That they were like, that dude is loopy as a box of Cheerios. But
what are you doing, cuz? You knocking stuff over? You making noise?
He's cleaning his desk.
He's crazy.
He's crazy, I tell you. No.
But people that are,
What you just said is absolutely correct. Because I learn differently than you, that makes me crazy. Because I think differently than you, that makes me crazy. Because I choose not to follow your patterns that makes me crazy.
Or carry it even further, because I react different than you. That makes me crazy.
That makes me crazy. We all got to react the same way.
I worked in special ed, and I dealt with a lot of students that had different labels, and they were astounding. The amount of labels, the whole language of special ed is unbelievable. That you're like, okay, what's wrong with this person? He's the LIP to the PPA to the TTE, and you're like, what? And so if you don't know the acronyms, then you're just lost. There was this young black boy in the class, and before I even met him, they was like, okay, you need to brace yourself. Like Al said, they done already gave me the mindset before I even met the young man. However, I didn't learn till later that the reason why he acts the way he does, I'm not, his father had been killed. And I'm not sure if he was there, but he's a very young child when his father was killed. And that trauma has, affected him to the point where, to the point where he just couldn't, he has, and had so many women telling him what to do. It's like, you got women teachers, women counselors, women this, women that. You're like, where's the man at? And it's almost like a daily reminder that his father is not there because he got all these women telling him what to do. But he just, he would do well for a little while. And then all of a sudden he would just get so angry. Then we got to go find the football coach. Then we got to go find, the basketball coach. You know what I'm saying? We got to go find the men to help us to deal with our black and brown boys because they're dealing with some stuff. And the type of trauma as women, we're just like, here he goes. Or, you're okay. And these young boys need fathering. And I hate it that the basketball coach, the football coach have now been given and I don't want to call it a burden quote, but they've been given a responsibility that they didn't ask for, but they're asking them to father these boys.
I went to school learning behavior and disabilities. LBD is what it was titled when I know it's changed since then. But when I went to school at Moorhead, it was LBD, learning and behavior disabilities. And I knew right away what spectrum of students I would be assigned to, just because of who I was. A large black man with an authoritative voice. So I knew where I would end up. It's very unfortunate that these kids get that tag early and it stays with them throughout their time in school. I just had a conversation, I think either Monday or Tuesday, probably Tuesday, with a coworker, and she was telling me a story about a young boy that was on her bus, elementary boy, and he had been diagnosed with behavior disorders. He had been given meds, and his mama wasn't giving him the meds. She was selling the meds. So he was never on the meds. So he acted out in school, and this cycle just continued and continued and continued. And she said she was at the state fair, I think she said she was, and she ran into this kid. It's 6-7 years later. Kid, was very mannerable, and went on to tell her the story. Well, shortly after you came and spoke to my mom, because she had went and talked to the kid's mom on her own personal time. Something, they advise drivers not to do. They want us to be counselors, foster parents, and everything else. Mm-hmm. But she went on her own time and sat down and talked. He was like, after you came and talked to my mom, short time after, I got off the meds, haven't had any problems. This, young man now, mid-20s, just living life well. I said that to say this. Oftentimes, they just need, like Lloyd said early, need somebody to listen. Brandon Marshall wouldn't listen. And then they need some compassion. This young man just needed some compassion. And once my coworkers showed him some compassion and took interest in what was really going on, his whole situation turned around.
Cuz is in the building, y'all. As we have this deeply candid conversation about mental health and am I crazy? Are we crazy? Is black people crazy? Cuz, what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts? I don't know.
I'm from a very large family. There are some crazy ass Negroes in my family. I'm not talking about nobody else's family, so your asses ain't got to be. I'm talking about my family.
What makes them crazy?
I was going to ask the same question.
There are some crazy ass Negroes in our family.
What makes them crazy?
By your family's definition or by society's definition?
Let me have the microphone. Y'all just finish y'all conversation.
Oh my God, here we go. Yeah. The pastor don't ever want to be interrupted, dude. He just want to win.
Let me get back on screen so you don't think I'm not listening. I'm listening.
Oh Lord, heaven forbid.
Go ahead, Pastor. Say what you got to say.
I do believe that you can get a diagnosis for whatever you want to get a diagnosis for. I'm not saying that science is that random. I just believe mental health or mental issues are hard to diagnose. I do believe that kids are challenged. Some kids are challenged more than others. I do believe home life plays a role in the dysfunction of the kid and how the kid learns and whatever the kid has seen at home and how they bring that to school and how that's now deemed a disability or a problem kid. But for lack of a better way to put it, what other choice does the school have? If you come to school with a deficit, we are stuck with your deficit, whatever that deficit is, whether it's a reading disability or learning disability, or you learn differently, or whatever the reason is, we are stuck with it as the schoolhouse. Now we have to figure out how to help you learn as best we can. And if we have to put you into a category to help you to learn or to focus on how you learn, because you don't do well, for lack of a better way to put it, in the general population. I don't mean it that way, but
You just said it that way, though.
that's what came up. We can't put you in the normal classrooms until we figure out how you learn, or what is it that's causing. Listen, I believe you could potentially do just as much harm as labeling. I do believe labeling is harmful, but I believe you could do just as much harm ignoring deficits.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
Treating them as if they are normal when we know that there's a deficit. So we're just going to move on. We're going to pretend that we don't see the deficit, and we don't see the issue, and we're just going to move on. I believe that's just as dangerous. So there has to be a happy medium. How do we address you without necessarily labeling you or causing you to live up to the label? Because now that we've told you you're special ed, now you're going to go through life acting like you're special ed. It's difficult. It's a very difficult situation.
To the surprise of no one, I appreciate the perspective you have brought to this conversation, because I think you are spot on in that regards, because I've been on that side as a teacher, and I know the challenge of trying to reach a child in deficit, as you so eloquently said. I think that is the perfect word to use, that there is a deficit somewhere. It is not always mental. Sometimes it is emotional, and oftentimes it is psychological. So I get what you're saying. My challenge of that is when the deficit is then deemed crazy or abnormal. First of all, show me how many normal people there are in school by societal standards, meaning that you are mentally, so because you can sit in this room and not behave badly or against the rules or whatever, that makes you normal. I'll tell you this from experience. There have been plenty of kids in my classes that didn't say a word that we found out later were really toxic. Not because they were bad people, but just because they had been through bad things. And so my challenge with what is happening to us societally is that we have decided that if people don't fit into what society or a group of people in society deem as quote unquote normal, then they are now abnormal and or crazy. And that's the challenge. It's to me, crazy is not a one-off. It's more so a pattern of, I use this word a lot in this show, and maybe I should stop, but I don't have a better one. So until I find my better one, I'm going to use it. I think it's a pattern of toxic behavior that is repetitively damaging to the person and to others. That to me is like, okay, something might not be quite right here. But if a person is making choices that, and again, that could be Antonio Brown as well. I don't know. Could be, because you look at his pattern, you go, well, that didn't make sense, and that didn't make sense, and that didn't make sense. So maybe he is exactly what we think he is. I don't know. But at the same time, it's a tricky thing, man. This thing we're calling crazy.
Well,
to me, it's a tricky thing.
Dare I say that, as a Black woman, we have continually just received the label of being crazy on numerous occasions. And sometimes it's just because you saying to a Black man or a man, period, that you just tired of the foolishness. I see what you're doing, or you ain't doing, this relationship ain't going this way or whatever, or you should be doing things differently. Then it's she crazy because she's calling you on your BS. So then the label of she crazy just keep on, like, in other words, so then I don't have to explain my BS, or so I can tell other people, what she crazy. That's what the situation was. So, I'm just going to sum it up with she crazy instead of what you did, or instead of what actually took place. It's easier to just label it as crazy. And I'm just telling you, I've always been transparent here, and I'm telling you one thing I knew for sure. I don't know if it came from a lot of the experiences my mom experienced in life, or in her home life, or was it when she was in the military? But if you ever want to set her off, label her that. And that's just like somebody calling you the N-word and you ready to jump off the couch or jump off of your seat and ready to go ham on somebody, is because you saying, why you say that to me? It's just the ultimate insult. You don't even know the person, but the first thing you say, that is crazy. Whether it be a guy or whether it be a girl, you just like, okay, how did you come to that conclusion? Well, you saw one act, or you saw some type of impulse, or you saw them, what you would deem as they out of order. So your solution or your label for the situation is that person's crazy.
Cuz, what did you mean when you said you got several crazy people in your family? How do you define that? How do you define them as crazy? What made you just define them as crazy?
Them just ain't right in their head. What do you want me to say?
Was there something that had taken place that you dubbed that, or what exactly is it that has you rest your hat on they crazy as hell?
Well, let me say. I agree with Mama Noise that too often we call people, women especially, crazy. But when one acts out of control, not in control of their emotions, when one is self-destructive and destroys things that are around them, you can use the word toxic if you want to use the word toxic. You can use the word debilitating. But the behavior itself does not say the person is well. I believe that a person that, I could be wrong here now, I'm always willing to be corrected.
Not that willing.
But a person that picks up a gun and shoots another person, not in self-defense, but just kills. I don't know how that person cannot be mentally challenged, crazy, or deranged. You know, sometimes in this country, depending on the case, or more often with the Wahites, if they go on killing sprees, they want to deem them mentally ill. Well, I contend that anybody that kills other people, that takes the life of other people, there's something mentally going on with you.
Okay.
So I'm not afraid of the label. And I've had cousins that have attempted murder and murdered. But do I have to kill you to be crazy, or can I do things to destroy you that are just as destructive as me killing you?
I don't think you're wrong. I just think okay, no. I'm gonna approach this a different way. Because when you say the killing or you have the ability to kill a person's whatever, to me, those are extreme things, which falls in alignment with what we're talking about. Maybe those extreme things are crazy because that definition says extremely, is part of the definition. Extreme something, wild, aggressive. So, okay, that is wild, aggressive behavior. That may be crazy. So what we've got to do, based on what you just said, it sounds like we've got to be more intentional about the way we apply the label, because some things we're saying are wild and aggressive and extreme, and they are not. They are just a reaction to something that is taking place, or they are the interpretation of something that is taking place. And just because it makes you uncomfortable, that does not necessarily make it crazy. So she slapped your face. That don't make her crazy. She's just pissed that you did what you did.
But if she slapped my face because she was not in control of herself, I mean, it was only a slap, but that's the same aggression that the person with the gun has. Only difference is she didn't necessarily have a gun.
You said it's the same? You said it's the same?
Yeah. It's the same aggression. Listen,
I don't know about that.
I'm always, well, you goddamn it, you listen, I help you with it. I'm always willing to be fully disclosed and naked. Just butt ass.
Nope.
Naked.
I think you just like saying naked.
I know, and
that's what it's really all about.
That's a no.
You just egregious in that way. You just like saying naked and being naked.
There was a time.
Shout out to Opal.
Now, listen to me closely. I don't mind sharing because, and listen, for anybody that thinks I can't believe he says this kind of stuff about his wife, I say it because she's healed from it. Now she tells it. There is no more shame. The shame is what partly destroyed her. She hid it for so long.
Okay.
But there was a time because of my wife's aggression, and she was aggressive. Then listen, I wouldn't buy a gun for my house because of her out of control anger. Now, what I just said will ring true in a lot of homes where one spouse is totally out of control of their anger. And you don't know if that ninja will kill you in the middle of the night or not. There, but for the grace of God goes I. So if I'm willing to jump on you, pull grits on you, whatever the case may be, if I have out of control responses, I could just as easily pull that trigger and kill you. It's no different than these kids out here in the streets with beefs. No difference. It's really the same thing. We just have more access to guns now. We don't need the grits no more.
Is violence and crazy the same thing?
I said, I believe one that pulls the trigger has to be mentally ill, has to be crazy. You can plead temporary insanity all you want to, but there's something mentally going on for you to take the life of someone else. To pull the trigger, have you guys ever held a gun in your hand? I have.
Yeah.
I have, yes.
ARMY. To pull the trigger on somebody,
5 pounds of pressure.
oh my God.
Now on somebody, that's a difference. I ain't never poured it on nobody.
Could you imagine doing it? What it takes mentally for me to actually do that?
So, okay, so surmising what you just said, because you bringing this to an interesting place in this conversation. Is the military just normalized crazy? Because that's what you just said. You said these people are trained to pull the trigger on somebody.
Ninja, that ain't what I said. I said in self-defense. So let me add to. I just see you change my name, man. God,
what are you talking about?
My name back. I just saw that. I just
listen. I'm trying to call it what it is.
Listen, self-defense. I need to add another category. Some, like police officers and FBI and whoever, we are trained to protect, to defend.
But still,
when I went to war, before we went across the berm into Iraq, when I went to war, I was in war. I said a prayer the night before. This is the God honest truth. I said, Lord, don't let me have to kill anyone, but let me kill them before they kill me. Now, I wasn't mentally ill. That was my prayer. Lord, please don't let me have to kill anyone. But if I got to kill them, let them kill them before they kill me.
But don't you have to get to a place where you can kill, even if it's self-defense? Isn't that a state of mind?
That's the training.
I don't think that's a mental illness. That is training.
Hold on. That ain't what I said. I didn't say mental illness. What I said was, because you said there has to be a level of crazy. I'm working out the real definition now. Extreme behavior. Something aggressive, something wild, something off the beaten path. Don't you have to get off the beaten path in order to commit this act?
I would say this to you. I will offer this up just to answer your question, then we're going to move on.
You might not.
There are people in the military that have crazy ways, that are potentially nutty, that really want to kill. And some of those people generally go into a specific branch of service. I'm not going to tell you what it is, because
you wanted to say Marines, didn't you?
But truly, there are people out there that are trigger happy and would love to kill for their country. That number is small, though. That's not nearly what most people go into the military for.
How do you get somebody to a place, though? And I'm not just talking specifically to the military. I'm talking about in general, whether it's military, whether it's police officers, whether it's gang affiliation. How do you get somebody to a place where they see killing as essential to their job performance?
Listen, that's not the truth. See, that's incorrect.
Okay, make sense.
We train to kill, but 99% of the people in the military have no desire to kill. We train to do it. And in the case that we have to do it, we have to call upon that training. And then we wonder why many of us come back from war zones with PTSD, because we had no desire. That's not who we are. We are not killers. Most people join the military for a couple of reasons.
Yep.
One is to travel. One is college money. One is to get the hell out of the hood or get the hell out of the country.
That's three.
Country parts of the world, of the United States. Our service to country.
Okay, so stop right there.
Going to kill.
So stop right there. That's why I made the statement I made. Why we're to get to the place where you get a person to the place where they have to, whether it's by protection of others, whether it's by protection of self, whether it's protection of country, you have to in some way normalize the thought process of killing. You have to normalize. You have to say, this is not an abnormal thought for you to have. That person has a gun pointed at you. You have to pull the trigger before they do. You have to normalize that thought. And yes, the thought of killing someone, object of or absent of context, is crazy. But in context, you have to normalize it to a place where it makes sense, because it goes against the natural inclination of your mind to kill someone. But in order for you to do it, you got to normalize it. You got to make it make sense. Which is kind of scary to think about.
You know, when I hear you say that, I think of my dad and think about the many times I call him and tell him it's an emergency.
Oh yeah, he used to get so frustrated with you, Dad. He's like, "This ain't no emergency. I've been there. I've been to Vietnam twice.
You know, and that
I've been to storm twice. This is not an emergency."
You know, that's one of the reasons why I love The Equalizer so much and will defend The Equalizer with Denzel Washington. Because when he looked in that little boy, when he looked in that young man's face who was trying to hang with the gangs or whatever and told him, you don't know what death is. You don't know what death is. Taking the life of a man. You have no concept. And I think about the time I called my dad and be like, Dad, it's an emergency. And he like, Kenyatta, you have no idea what an emergency is.
When I see high functioning veterans, mentally functioning veterans like your father, like Cuz, I'm gonna say something. It's gonna sound horrible, but I don't mean it to be. I marvel at it because I know that you have seen things that we, being the normal citizen or whatever that is, normal citizen or regular citizens, that we can't fathom. Most military people will not talk about military service outside of military circles. I have found that to be true. I've asked veterans, "Hey, what was it like?" "Oh, it was different."
No. You got to use the phrase, "If I tell you, I got to kill you."
Well, but that's how some would say. But I remember talking about with my grandfather. He served in World War II. He told me a couple of things. Like he said, he dug ditches, and he said he marched behind or beside tanks as they went through, the cities or whatever. But he wouldn't get into very many specifics at all. And I think that's because of what it was. There was nothing normal about the experience. So to keep reliving the experience would push them into mental places that they didn't want to go and probably weren't comfortable or good for them to go to. Am I way off on that, Cuz, or?
You asking me if you're way off?
Yeah. I'm just saying that was his experience. I don't know if that's I just know a lot of military people, they don't talk about what they've gone through. They don't talk about the experience at all.
Because they don't want to rehash it in their minds. We generally block it out and move on. That's not necessarily healthy, but that's a way of coping with what you've seen.
Jay, you have a package at the front door.
That's cold blooded right there, boy. Jay, she been like this all morning. I don't know. She been like this all morning.
Oh my gosh.
I want to highlight something else just because I saw it in the chat and I wanted to bring it up. Andy Bruce said his older brother walked the streets like a homeless person for 2 years, slept on the streets and in vacant houses while his family was doing well, and refused help. And after some time, we found him. He was paranoid schizophrenia. That's not the same as slapping somebody because they made you mad. It's not the same. That to me does seem, quote unquote, crazy. And I hate to use such a aggressive word, but that's what it feels like. Are there varying degrees? Is that what our problem is? Or is there really only one type of crazy, the most extreme abnormal behavior possible? That's crazy, and everything else is processing. Everything else is just normal processing, and you may land where you land in the processing. I'm actually asking that question. Mama knows why you staring at the screen like that.
Because I'm thinking that Jay's ready to, he's winding up to answer the question. See, look.
There is a wind up though, Rev.
I mean, his facial expressions it's a build up. He's leaning forward and he's about to answer the question. I'm just saying. Really? I need you to unmute, sir.
I make the facial expressions and the wind up because really I have difficulty. I told y'all a long time ago, I don't like to, man, you changed that shit now. I told you.
What?
Now someone else experiences my pain.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I told y'all a long time ago, I don't like to open my mouth unless I really think I know what I'm talking about. Not that I'm right 100% time when I open my mouth, but I like to feel comfortable in opining on situations when I fully understand it. And mental illness is just one of those very tough ones to really make sense of that which doesn't make sense.
It really is.
I have a difficult time discussing it. And maybe I'm one of those that's flippantly are willing to call more people crazy than are crazy, but I would say this, and I think this is back where we were originally.
Mm-hmm.
One of the toughest things you could do to a parent
For those who are listening by podcast, he just kicked the dog out of the room. He was rude as hell, and it was
disgust out the dog.
I mean, the dog. I'm not sure the dog deserved what he just got. It was a lot. It was.
Oh my gosh!
Dog walked out in abject dejection just a minute ago. He did not go well. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. But the dog is very unhappy right now.
Well, FedEx just pulled up out front. That's part
See,
of it.
package outside.
He was just trying to be helpful. He thought he was trying to be helpful, and you fussing at him.
I'm trying to help you out.
What was I saying before that dog so rudely interrupted me? What was I talking about?
You said as a parent.
Oh, as a parent, thank you, Mama Noise.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most difficult things you can do is tell a parent that there's something wrong with their baby. It's only natural for parents to go into defense mode and fight like hell for that child. If you're not doing that, then you're not a parent, in my opinion.
Right.
And we have to be very protective of our babies, because some of us do learn differently, and some of us do take a little bit longer to catch on. It is true that some kids need some forms of therapy in early childhood development in order to help them develop. Whether they have, and I've learned now, because of family that's moved around us, that I never really knew that there was a such thing as delayed speech. But there's a such thing as delayed speech, where a kid actually doesn't talk at 2 and 3 and 4 years old sometimes. I never knew that when I was coming up as a kid. Everybody was running their damn mouth. Nobody was sitting around quietly. You wanted them niggas to shut the hell up. I mean, but there's a such thing as delayed speech. So there are some of us that need therapy, not necessarily mental counseling, but therapy, in order to help us in our development. And then you have kids that are on different levels on the spectrum when it comes to what is that thing called? The kids that are developmentally delayed, that don't talk, that don't socialize. Come on, y'all, help me out. What is it called? Don't socialize.
Autistic?
There you go.
Okay, all right. I didn't know where you're going with that. Okay.
Thank you for spitting that out for me. There you go. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, Catherine.
I think your dog was trying to tell you.
These ninjas saw me struggling, but yet.
No, I did. Well, one, I was muted, and then the other part was I didn't understand what you were saying. So now
leave the ninja out here flapping in the wind.
I came. I fought for you. I was here.
There are different levels on the spectrum. Some that could have therapy for 1 or 2 years, and they will develop just fine. But if gone untreated, that thing can really be a problem for that kid later on in life.
Mm-hmm.
So many of us fight, though, when they get those diagnoses of autism. They fight. They don't want to believe it. Experiencing it in our own home with family members that are struggling with. No. He's normal. Well, that's natural for you to feel that way, but the professionals say there is a delay. Something's there that needs to be addressed. And we as people tend to not want to get that assistance, that help. Okay, you can go on. We believe you can spank their ass into, oh heck, what just happened? Oh no. Okay.
You're all over the place today, bro. You just,
we believe, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
We believe you can spank that butt into proper behavior. That's generally what we did for the longest time.
And I don't think that you can do that, but I do think you can interrupt some people in their journey and help them. Like Sean said, he felt like he was Antonio Brown in high school for a while, and then our former principal, Mr. Yates, came in, interrupted his journey, and was like, you're not the label that everybody's trying to put upon you. And so no, we're not going to allow you to be labeled as this thing. I think the thing that struck this chord with me for this particular show today is I wonder if we're doing a good job societally hearing the hearts of those who, I don't want to say cannot function in the way that society deems normal, but and I don't even know if I want to say struggle to, because struggle to, well, maybe I want to say struggle to. I don't know. Maybe just want to say are challenged to function in the way society deems normal. They're challenged to because of whatever the challenge is, and labeling them crazy seems dismissive.
Yeah.
And lazy, really.
Yeah.
Because it absolves you of the responsibility to have to figure out their best path of interpretation and understanding. So now you're crazy. So now I'm gonna put you over here in this category, and I don't have to deal with you. That's someone else's problem. Or I'm dealing with you by not dealing with you. So I don't know. I'm challenged with this conversation, and I'm challenged with this situation because I don't want to. I don't want to just accept the fact that everybody who doesn't do what I think they should do, or everybody who doesn't do what society thinks they should do, is now crazy. That's the thing I'm challenged with. Especially in a one-off situation. If this is just one time where you decided I'm gonna go left when everybody's going right, that doesn't make you crazy. It could make you a maverick. It could make you innovative. It could make you, like you said, Albert Einstein, or inventive, or whatever. It doesn't necessarily mean that you've lost your mind.
It's true.
And that's the challenge that I'm having, because I don't know. Mama Noise.
Yes, sir.
If you were still working at the school, and one of the principals or even another coworker were to say, "You crazy B, do X, Y, and Z, or we gonna or you and I are gonna have a problem." Now let's say it was a coworker, and she called you a crazy B, and you went and beat the brakes off of her. Does that make you crazy? Does it make her crazy? Or just a crazy situation?
It makes you crazy as hell.
If she beat the brakes off of the lady that called her a crazy bee?
Yeah.
Why does that make her crazy?
Because there are ramifications for your actions, and in sane times, you know that there are ramifications for your actions. But at that moment, you don't care about ramifications. When you throw caution to the wind and nothing else matters, then that is crazy.
That is an act of crazy, or the person is crazy?
An act.
Well, you can call it whatever you want to call it.
No. Whoa. That's important, though. That's important. Because are you saying the person is crazy, or are you saying the act is crazy?
Crazy people do crazy shit. Stupid people do stupid shit.
See, that's the dismissive part
That is dismissive.
That's the dismissive part I'm not comfortable with. Because you're trying to say, okay, so that means that most people are crazy.
Yeah.
Well, if you can't control your emotions, if you are emotionally out of control, that you can apply that to any situation.
Because
if
you're
you
saying
can't control self, then you are crazy.
Okay, so and I'm not regurgitating this to highlight something you've done to throw it back in your face. I'm trying to make an actual point here. So your choice is to not. I'm really not. I'm just trying to highlight the situation. Are you trying to say that in the times where you were knocking these girls down in the baptismal pool, you were crazy?
Temporary insanity.
I was extremely crazy to do what I was doing.
All right. Fair enough.
It was crazy to risk doing what I was doing. But you know what? I didn't care.
Oh man. So your definition of crazy is very unique to me because it implies
when you deal with an emotional person that when you wake up in the morning, you don't know which side of the bed they're gonna wake up on. When you deal with a person that when you come home, you don't know if they're up or down, left or right. You don't know if they're in a happy place or a sad place or an abusive place. When you deal with people like that can't control themselves, what else do you call that?
but that's not what you're saying. You're saying I woke up, ate a regular breakfast, had put on my clothes normal like everybody else, saw Sally at the church, and had to slay them loins. And I did slay them loins right behind the baptismal pool, then went to Bible study. So does that mean you were temporarily crazy, or that means are you crazy? And by the way, I'm not innocent in that either. I'm saying to you
that makes no sense. What
No.
I was doing what I was doing was pleasure principles.
You just said it was crazy.
It had nothing to do with beating down somebody. It was actually lifting them up.
Oh, you was beating them down now.
You're lifting them up? Is that what you were doing?
There was a beating down taking place. I'm just saying.
Lord, lift
It is
us
high
up
that
where
she
we
knows that I just fulfilled the desire.
Oh my God.
Is that what Janet Jackson song? The pleasure principle. Oh.
Oh my God. This is ridiculous. This went to the ridiculous very fast.
You the one brought up that scenario.
I did, and that was completely and totally my fault. You are correct, sir. In this, you are correct. I'm trying to understand what temporary crazy, or as the clinical definition is, temporary insanity is. And by the way, I don't disagree that for a moment you may lose your mind, your ability to what society says is normalize the process of thought in that moment.
To stop yourself.
Right, to stop yourself. I what I'm struggling with is the labeling of complete craziness, or you are a crazy person.
Listen,
in totality.
Crazy people can function just like everybody else. They all over the place. They function normal. You act like I wake up in the morning and I wake up crazy and I go through the day crazy and I lay down at night I'm crazy. No, that's not necessarily
that
crazy.
could be true in your case. That could be true.
You switch crazy on and off at will?
Listen, you have different levels. Even people that are paranoid schizophrenic can be normal. You have your what are those moments called?
Episodes.
When they're too high, or when they're too low.
Okay.
Bipolar?
You people can't.
They're episodes. I don't understand.
Are they bipolar? What are you saying?
When they're hyper, when they're way too much, too high, they're just everything is over the top. Everything is.
Okay, if you don't know the word, just move on.
Negroes.
I don't know.
Feel like I'm watching the pyramid. It's high, it's low. It's.
Are you saying that bipolar?
Yeah, bipolar. So what's the when you're high? What is that one called? The bipolar people. They are very when they are
functioning high.
Oh Lord Jesus!
They're saying ADD and ADHD. Is that it?
No, he's getting ready to Google it.
Google it. Google what you're talking about. And while you Googling, I'm gonna say this. I don't know I'm struggling with the temporary craziness badly.
I didn't know you could switch it off and on.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do that either.
Well, but in the chat, Chad says they can be president.
I don't know if that's crazy or demonic. This is an interesting conversation because I think we've dismissed many people as crazy, only maybe to find out that there's And maybe the same thing can be true. Maybe they can be crazy because of X, Y, and Z, because of these things, because of these circumstances, because of these issues, because of these, you know what I mean? It may not be as simple as whether you can or can't as much as it is you are because.
Okay. Possible.
Do you think you've had temporary bouts of crazy, Mama Noise?
Do I have temporary what?
Bouts of crazy.
I think it can be invoked.
Would you call it crazy or would you call it something else?
I would say I don't know what I would call it. I don't know what the label would be called, but I can recall, an instance in my life where, you just like, it's a situation where if you don't go into flip mode, you might not survive. So in a situation where you ain't got time to be trying to be casual, you ain't got time to be trying to walk on eggshells, you gotta make a decision. And sometimes making that decision means I got to be all kinds of crazy in this moment to survive this moment.
Catherine says a glitch. She likes to call it glitch. I like that. I can rock with a glitch. Do you have an example, Mama Noise, of the glitch?
Well, when I was in high school, my freshman year of college, I had a boyfriend, and he went to U of L and I went to Western Kentucky. And so I thought we was in a relationship. And so, and thinking that we was in this relationship, I'm
with you.
And thinking that we're in this relationship, we went out to this restaurant in Louisville, Kentucky called Splash. In Louisville, that was a floating restaurant that you could go to, and you could have dinner. It was a thing. And so I had dinner there with him. And then all of a sudden, this girl that we would probably put in this category rushes in and she snatches his car keys off the table and runs out of the restaurant. Well, we're just like, okay, we're sitting there going, okay, this is a situation that has to be dealt with. Because if we don't deal with it, then we're going to be stranded. So he jumps up, runs out after her in the parking lot, which is up under the expressway by the river. And she's running around. And so, I don't know which way he went, but all of a sudden, I go outside. You can't find him, but there she is. And she pulled a gun on me.
Oh, wow.
Well, she has this gun in my face and I'm going, I don't know what's going on here. So apparently, backstory, he apparently was seeing her while I was gone to college. And I'm thinking that he and I are in an exclusive relationship. And so when she saw us at the restaurant, she like, I'll fix him and go and snatch the keys and runs out of the restaurant. But anyway, she has this gun in my face and, she's threatening to shoot me. Well, in my mind, I've gone into survival mode because I'm going, I have to survive this situation. This woman has this gun in my face and I don't know what to do about it. So I'm looking all around to see what I have to help me because I don't have anything. She's got this gun. And I saw this empty bottle of OE and I busted the bottle and I busted it and still had the other half in my hand. I said, I'm going to tell you something. Here's my promise to you. If you shoot me, you better kill me. Because I'm going to kill you. You done pulled a gun on me. You trying to kill me over this individual? Girl, you need to have said, okay, if he here at the restaurant with somebody else, I'm through with him. No, you come and try to pull. That's one thing. If I could just get inside the head of my sisters and ask the question, why do we always go for trying to hurt another woman instead of confronting the dude that you in a relationship with?
Well, that's a whole nother.
I just said if there was a question I could ask him and try to figure out what is the problem. Why do you feel that killing me is gonna keep him from being a hoe? If he's going,
no, I don't want to drift too far. I got you. I don't want to drift too far into that though. That's a different show.
Well, but I'm okay. Then I'm just saying simply, is that I felt I needed to go into a survival mode to protect myself because this woman is trying to take my life. And she has a gun, which is more than she ain't wanting to fight, because if we'd have been fighting, I'd have whooped up.
So what I'm hearing is you chose to be as crazy as possible.
I didn't have a choice.
Mama Noise, I would like to say this. Thank you for your absolute nudity on the podcast and just totally laying it all out for us, telling us just how gangster you are out there, breaking old English Bibles, getting ready to kill people. I just thank you for that clarity.
Oh my goodness!
What on earth is
your truth?
Your nudity?
Your truth is your truth. And you know that.
It sounds like sarcasm. What is it that you're trying to say, Mr. J?
Oh, I just said it. Anyway, back to the reason why I had to stop. I had to go ask the wife what I was trying to say, because see, she can read my mind. You guys really can't do it. But when a bipolar person goes too high, they are in manic phase.
Oh no, I definitely wouldn't have got that. You did right by asking her.
I know, because she's smart.
Yeah, I didn't know. Shout out to Opal.
The same one you be talking about is so raggedy, but let's just move on.
Oh my!
I digress. Carry on.
That escalated quickly. I didn't see that coming.
You've been trying to.
That was a soup sandwich comment, but I'm gonna let it ride. I'm gonna let it ride. I'm gonna let it ride. And when they go too low, they're in severe depression. So manic versus depression.
Manic depression. Got you.
Right. So a person can wake up in the morning and be normal. They're neither manic nor depressed. They're normal. And they can go throughout the day and be normal, but at some point they can either go manic or they can go depressed. So you are correct if we're saying that your psychological phase that you're in does change. Hell, it changes for all of us. We wake up in the morning and we're just fine, and somebody call us a nigga, and now we're depressed.
So if we all have the propensity to be crazy, why are we calling each other something that we all have the capacity to do?
Yeah, but for the grace of God goes out. I believe we are all one incident away from being crazy. I do believe that.
And Al said reading your mind is the equivalent of trying to read Braille. So which is true in its own right. Sean said, I don't think crazy is the right word because it's lumping every disorder into one. And I think that's what we're kind of saying. I think that's what this show is really all about today. I think we got to stop calling people flat blanket crazy.
Maybe it's because they don't know the definition. They don't know the disorder. They don't know the manic highs and the lows and the in the midst.
My voice didn't change. Why did yours change?
It did a little bit. It was a little bit. You a little bit was trying to say it's high, it's high, it's high. You know, I'm like, I don't understand.
Oh my goodness.
So when you don't, if they say, you just think about, hold on, you said 4 Left Shoes, Mississippi. You got some folks that they say that person they're not gonna say it's having an episode of a high. They're gonna say that fool crazy.
Did you say 4 Left Shoes, Mississippi?
Isn't that what he say?
I don't think he's ever said that.
Oh, well, he do say 4 Left Shoes something.
I say wrong is 4 Left Shoes.
Wrong is 4 Left Shoes.
Oh, okay.
He didn't give it a city title. He didn't say it was a city called 4 Left Shoes.
Oh, well then, okay.
I think the thing that I'm gathering more than anything from this show is that and I'm speaking to myself now, I have to stop lumping everybody into one category called crazy. That's not fair. I can say something might be wrong with that person. I think that's fair. They may have some emotional, psychological, and mental challenges. I think that's fair. But to just dismiss them as simply crazy, I think that may not be fair.
So why does the word crazy offend us so? Why is it such a harsh word?
Because
if your ass is crazy, your ass is crazy.
Well, but because I think societally, crazy also means
That you mentally unstable.
Right. Unstable. But I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true in totality. Like you just said, Mama Noise had to choose crazy because she had to choose to be unstable to survive.
No, that's not what was said. She said she had no other choice but to defend herself. Now,
that ain't what she said. That ain't what she said. She said I have to choose crazy because I have no other choice. That's what she said.
She had no other choice but to defend herself. She wasn't crazy. She wasn't mentally out of her mind.
But somebody on the outside would think, that girl crazy. She done buzzed the bottle and she finna come for her. But do you see the other person with the gun?
And we've already said on the show today that you have to be a little crazy to kill somebody. Mama Noise said.
I said outside of self-defense.
I didn't hear that part.
But see, here's the problem I have with what you said. Okay, but Jay, here's the problem I have with what you said, even with self-defense. Even in self-defense, the thought process is I have to get myself to a mental place that I have to the challenge of defending myself has to end in your death. That don't make you less crazy because you're defending yourself.
It don't make you crazy. Listen. There's something in the natural order of life that says survival of the fittest. Any animal, anything will fight to survive.
Okay, survive.
That makes you crazy. That makes you a survivor.
Hold on, Jay. Pastor, the good pastor of when Church of God in Christ. Just because you're trying to survive don't mean you have to kill. Survive could mean running away. Survive could mean getting away. Survive could mean trying to talk them off the ledge. You said if I have to kill you to survive, so be it. Is that not what you said? You know what? This ninja here likes to change the narrative, and he don't want you to hear what he really said.
What you're saying is somebody's pointing a gun at you, and you are within reach out and touch range. That you're gonna break out with a run in order to survive.
No, Jay, that's not what I said. I don't really care about the circumstance by which the crazy unemployed. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is that you're trying to tell me that if I try to kill this person, that I'm not a little crazy too. I gotta be a little crazy in order to get bro. I have to now take my mind from fear to crazy. I can't kill you in fear, but I can kill you if I'm as crazy as you are. I got to get to crazy because it's your life or my life. Are we not clear on that? That's what you said in the ARMY. It was theirs. Lord, the prayer was, Lord, not to kill nobody, but if I got to kill somebody, let me kill them first before they kill me. Oh, Lord. That's what you said, Jay. That's what you said, Pastor.
I can't do it.
That's what you said.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm saying, ain't that a little crazy? Ain't that a crazy prayer? That ain't a crazy prayer.
So is crazy switch on, switch off, like depending on the situation? You switch on the crazy.
That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. What is this? What is this? Is that an ear? Okay, that was an ear. He who has an ear to hear, let me hear. I think it's what.
Okay. That's what. Okay. All
right. I'm just trying to understand where you come from, Pastor, because
you done changed the name to Pastor. Let me kill him first, cuz. Okay.
I try to keep it accurate. I try to keep it accurate to the show.
Okay. Mm-hmm. There are levels of crazy.
Levels justified to plain ridiculous.
You know, like from 1 to 100.
What level is I'm gonna kill you first?
You better be
Is
at
that like
100.
81, 85? What are we talking about?
You better be at 100 because I'm gonna tell you something.
That's all I'm saying. You got to go full crazy.
You can't. I can't imagine that you got to be at the let's negotiate level.
Hey, you think you were sane when you were shooting them people overseas?
Heck no. You didn't want to say, "Hey guys, I'm just trying to make it home tonight. Let's just talk about this and like two adults and let's work this out." They like the enemy fire. That's the way it works.
Is that in defense or predatory? Go ahead and come back to the screen, cuz I'll be quiet. I'll let you talk. I'll be quiet. I want to learn, Pastor. I want to learn.
Defense or predatory?
You know what, Mama knows? You really need to pay attention to the show. I
know, but I was just hearing it out loud and
no, you wasn't. You was reading out the chat, and I don't.
You just read it.
Right. I just read it. So you
I was thinking about after I heard it, I'm thinking about it again, going, wow.
Cuz we need you to come back. Come on back. So you can bring clarity to our mental selves.
It's like, for instance, it's like a parent. When a parent is, you feel like you have to protect your child at all costs. You like, okay, under certain circumstances, we're going to try to negotiate and talk like we got some sense. And two respectable adults, we're going to try to talk and work out the situation. But when I feel like there was a situation where Azaria was in the parking lot and this lady just, she was at church and she decided that she's going to stomp on the gas with her car in reverse to get out of the parking lot. And she almost hit Azaria. Boy, you talking about somebody who went from 1 to 1,000. I was like, girl, if we went at this church, I would have hopped over that window because I'm going, I understand you in a hurry, but I'm going to need you to turn around and look and see if there's anybody in the parking lot before you punch the gas and go in reverse, because if you take my child's life, you can't apologize for that. So that was 1 to 1,000 right quick. But then there's, like you said, you go back to the, okay, I'm sure it was a mistake. I'm sure you didn't mean to punch the gas while my toddler is at the parking lot and you're in such a hurry to get back to work because you got your child, but you're going to try to take my child's life because you're in a hurry. I mean, I'm just saying you're trying to be casual and trying to do the conversation and trying to talk about it like some individuals that's got a sound mind. But please believe 1 to 100 right quick.
All right, make it make sense, cuz.
No, I can't. I said early on, you really can't make sense out of that which doesn't make sense. Crazy doesn't make sense. So I can't. Difficult conversation.
Because you know why I agree with you 100%. Because right now, sitting on this podcast talking to two of you, I can't imagine killing somebody. I can't wrap my head around killing somebody. However, if someone was messing with my wife or my children, in my heart, I don't have a problem killing somebody. If I felt like the threat was at that level and it was my wife and my children or their life, it's a no-brainer for me, which is scary to think about. But I had to get to but listen, there's a path. Mama Noise mentioned 5 pounds of pressure to pull a trigger. There's a path to that. And where does that path take me? And where do I arrive to the place where I'm okay? And in my mind, I found a place of justification and I'm okay with it.
That's right.
Now I'm going to use a very morbid example to what I'm about to say, but you guys understand where I'm going with this. Somehow, Derek Chauvin found justification to do what he did to George Floyd. Look at his face. Go back and look at his face. That wasn't a face of protection, or I'm gonna this guy's committing a crime, and he justified his crazy in that moment, and he said, I'm okay with this. This is the right decision. My point is, I don't know if we always know when we're in crazy.
Wow.
You muted, my brother. You muted.
I would add this to an otherwise unreasonable conversation. When you are not in control of your emotions, you're out of control. When you go from 0 to 100, we used to call it.
Yeah.
We used to even call it hot-headed. That person would just pop off in a heartbeat, and most people that are sane will sit back and look at them and, how did you go from that to that so damn quick?
Right.
It's because you're out of control, and really you do have mental issues that need counseling. But we just chalk it up as hot-headed. That's just, you don't mess with them because they'll pop off on you in a heartbeat. We categorize it as normal, but it's not normal behavior, because most people can rationalize and say, you know what? It didn't take all of that in order to solve the problem. Right. But a hot-headed person can't see that. They are totally oblivious to any other way other than 0 to 100. 5 seconds flat. Let's go. And you're sitting there wondering, what in the hell is wrong with you?
How did you get there that fast?
How did you get there? Right. That
Woo.
to me, now, I might not consider that, but that to me is crazy. When you're out of control and you can't control the 0 to 100, you have issues.
Pastor, you preaching. You preach that thing.
So there are a lot of people walking around functioning, but they're hotheads. They're crazy as hell. You know some in your office where you work. You know some at the church. You just don't cross those people the wrong.
Yeah,
no, you're right. Them the hell alone.
You're right. Because you know this ain't gonna go well.
That's right. Don't take much.
Whoa, this is a very interesting conversation. It really is. I just don't know if we all know that we have it, that we have that here I go, that gene, that trigger.
I believe we all do.
I think we do. I just don't think we know that we do.
Right.
This is a perfect time to mention this week's podcast with Dr. Selena Smith, Teaching Through the Eyes of Trauma. You can find it wherever podcasts can be heard. And this week's episode talks about being trigger happy. What triggers you and gets you off your game, kind of like what Cuz was just talking about. This is a really interesting conversation. I like I said, what started this was the Antonio Brown interviews that I watched. And I just think maybe it's not as simple.
Well, I was going to say, I remember when you expressed, you were teaching at one point and you were saying you don't really know someone until you see them angry. Like some people like, okay, we're dating. And you're like, oh, this person, I'm just I love him so much. We so in love until they get angry about something. And then when they go as 0 to 100 and now they want to cut up all your stuff or cut up all your things, you're going, what the? It's happening here. Well, because now we so in love and he's so perfect and everything is so great. That's what you saw, but you didn't see what would happen under certain circumstance or the what happens when the trigger it kicks in, that this person has transformed into a whole nother individual, but they have been functioning like all is well.
Right.
But I thought that was very profound because, you know, I think if someone's dating, talking about one day they're going to get married to that person or whatever, hey, if you ain't ever experienced that person angry, you might want to experience that first. So then you can know what it is you're dealing with. You shouldn't have to get married and then discover that you done married somebody who go into flip mode and take your life.
No, I mean, you know, it's something you have to. I think you have to learn it in marriage sometimes. You really, sometimes you can't see it in the dating stage unless you're going to date for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years.
Right.
There are some people that do all that and they still don't, you know, they done been dating about 4, 5 years and they just, I don't know if they just start tolerating it.
You can't hide crazy for 4 to 5 years.
I mean,
that's too long. But truthfully, my brother-in-law often jokes with his wife because she says, "Oh, Opal is so sweet. She's such a sweet person." He says, "Baby, you didn't know her when she was crazy."
That's funny. It shouldn't be, but it is.
It's true. Because she was one of those that would go from 0 to 1,000. Just like that. Me, the same one, sitting here trying to figure out, nigga, you really is crazy. But that's just the reality. And it took some time. It took some years. It took some healing to take place for her to get over that. But that was real in my life at the beginning of my marriage. That was real.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna tell you that wasn't hyperbole. I actually was dating this guy and I thought things were going fine with us. I thought it was. I don't know what it was that happened. I don't know what I said. But man, next thing I know, I came over. He had cut up all of my stuff and left it in the middle of the floor. I said, "Yep, okay. Well, I'm just gonna go because this is unhealthy. I'm not getting ready to try to talk you off of whatever it is that caused you to get to that point. You seem like a dangerous individual."
You know what caused them to get to that point. You just don't want to talk about it. You know what caused them.
No, I actually did.
We can move on. We ain't gotta sit here and disclose all of it shit here. You know what happened.
You wrong for that. You wrong for that.
I know. You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I know what he's talking about, but you wrong for that. Well, listen. Yeah.
Listen, just to try to wrap it up and be honest with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Emotionally unstable people at whatever level, and I see Tara talking about all the different levels.
Mm-hmm.
At whatever level it is, if you aren't in control of self, what else can we call?
Oh my gosh.
What happened? Who died?
No, I'm just reading Tara's.
She's in the chat where she shouldn't be.
Jay be doing it.
He wrong too. Don't make it right.
Wrong
I put it up. It's on the screen.
Well, still, it's even powerful on the screen too.
Okay. Well, read it off the screen. Don't read it privately. It's a weird show when you do that. There you go.
When you are in control of your emotions, your response, whether that's an abusive man or an abusive woman, out of control, whatever it is, an out of control kid that can't process and just freaks out in the middle of the store.
Yeah.
Those are mental issues. You might not be schizo, you might not be bipolar, but you have mental issues that need counseling and help to help you over that hump. But it's a whole lot of us walking around with those issues.
That's right.
We're going to have to revisit this show. I see that now. There's more to unpack here than I think we have the capacity to unpack ourselves, because like Jay said, we have some understanding, but maybe not all the understanding necessary to truly help the noisemakers. And I want to help because I want us to be able to function and to deal with people from where they are and to be honest about where they are. Like some people may have some challenges that make them so-called whatever, whatever that quote unquote label is. But we got to be able to be able to identify what that is and then help people or assess them right where they are and then move forward. And it may be that they are, like in Tara's case, that dude clearly was suffering from some stuff that, probably some brain trauma. And for him to be violent like that and irrationally violent at that says something. That's something else. And I don't know if we know what that is or we truly understand what that is. But it's something
crazy.
It
I don't know why the word is so offensive. Why we can't just go and say, "Nigga, you crazy"?
Because it would imply a person is mentally unstable.
Well, a dude that get up and hit you and you just walk into the other room saying I'll be right back and you just get up and hit him. That's mentally unstable.
Listen, and I want a response from this. Other than the protection of your family, and I mean that. That's what Papa Bears and Mama Bears are supposed to do. We're supposed to protect our loved ones. Mm-hmm. Other than protection of your family, what in life should take you from 0 to 100? What said, what done, what should allow you to be totally out of control in your response to any damn thing?
It's a great point. It's a great point.
I agree.
I ought to be able to sit back and rationally think about how to solve, how to fix.
Right.
Well, I'll read the chat because I was reading the chat. And that Talkin NOIZ was saying that when a dude chokes you out of the blue, then he's
crazy.
Crazy.
I like that.
Because you're saying what in the entire hell makes you think that choking a person is going to either make them do right or whatever the situation, that is the solution.
Maybe they was in the chat too much, and I was like,
I think what was one of the most profound things that Lloyd said to me when I met him. You think I don't be listening to you? Is that he said that I will walk away first.
Yeah.
And you know what? I respected him. I wasn't trying to. I'm not that type of person that's gonna run and hold on to your leg and all that type of stuff. Bottom line is that I'd rather you walk away than us trying to tango. Like, I'm trying to square off to you like some dude. But I appreciated that about him because there's many a man that will try to pretend like they're not fighting a woman and fight him like some man. That's just unacceptable. I would hope that folk be like, look, I wasn't raised that way, but were they?
And then I have to come back in my sane time and apologize for what I did.
Sugarfoot.
Shouldn't have never been there. Shouldn't have never gone there.
That's facts.
Woo. Yeah, we got to unpack this a different way.
You trying to say once again, I was right the whole time?
Hell no. I mean, I'm sorry. I feel like we should bring we definitely got to do, because I think there's a lot here. It really is a lot here, and I want us to be. I want us to help people. I don't want us to hurt people when we don't have to. But at the same time, I also want people to get the help they need. Because if you, as Cuz would say, or Pastor Cuz, or Pastor this is true, this is true. If Pastor this is true says they crazy, we might need to look at the fact that they might be crazy.
Well, speaking of that, Dr. Thomas, Soror Thomas, Danielle Thomas says hello. Our mental health professional of Noise Media says hello, and that she will be on the show on February the 11th.
Oh, good.
So
right
then
before,
you can
right before Valentine's Day.
No, that wasn't the intention. Why you?
That's right before Valentine's Day. We can get all the crazy out of people before Valentine's Day. That's the goal.
If people would just learn that to control their emotions.
What does that look like, though?
And stop allowing other people to dictate your disposition. If we could just get there. The problem is most of us are out of control. We can't. I mean, and people know how to push our buttons. I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna let you have it. I believe white folks know how to push our buttons with one word. They've been doing it for the ages.
Yeah, but cuz the people that know how to push our buttons probably built the buttons in the first place.
Yeah, but they shouldn't have that place in my life to be able to push a button and me act a fool.
They know they got that place in their life because they built the buttons in the first place.
So we're giving them that place.
I didn't give them shit. They built that button in my life.
Yes.
No, cuz that's where you and I part ways.
People can only affect you if you give them the power to affect you.
No, people can affect you because the button was built by them sometimes. Listen, if your mother hold on now, listen, because I'm preaching now, and you're not hearing me, you're not giving me the amen I need. There are people who have taken a space in your life and created a trauma or a trigger point in your life. That's not you giving them permission. Listen, that Tara didn't give that dude permission to choke her or to smack the shit out of her. She didn't say, "Hey, dude, anytime you feel like you need to smack me, go right ahead." That wasn't a thing. He was crazy. He built that button. So now going forward, there are dudes who may have a similar trait to that cat that she goes, "Whoa, what are you doing?"
No, we're not talking about physical violence.
I'm talking. No, you're missing the point. You're missing the point.
I got the point. If you would just
we're talking about crazy, man. Crazy manifests. See, you're trying to say that crazy only manifests in one way, and that's not true. That's why I said we got to get somebody else on here. Because crazy doesn't only manifest in ways where we give people permission. Sometimes people take it. And they crazy too. You better listen, cuz. Listen, Pastor. You ain't the only one that can pull an offering in this place.
Now listen. It is not what people say to you. It's your response to it. And sometimes it's not even your what they do to you is your response to it. You are in control of your response. And when you can't control your response, then you are just as crazy as the people that did it to you.
Okay.
That's the point. That's
an incomplete point. That is an incomplete point.
Hold on. When you give people power to change your disposition, yes, there's no other way to look at it. You have to come to that realization in life. When you give up your power and you allow people to change your disposition, then you, my sir, my man, you are a victim. Now,
what?
When you take back your power, you say, I am not a victim and I'm not going to allow you to affect me anymore. Now, if that means I have to remove you from my life physically because you believe in physical violence, then I'm going to remove you from my life. But if it's because you're playing mental games with me and you're calling me names and I get all crazy because you call me a name, listen, it's our response. There are two. It takes two to tango. You've heard that before, right? It takes two to tango. There is one that is the offender and there is one that is offended. It's what you do with the offense that matters. Stop
just because you said it
and place in your life to
just
offend you.
just because you said it in your pastoral authoritative voice don't make it all the way right. And that don't make me wrong, because the reality of it is, if that person has something in them that pushes and provokes them to violence first, without my provocation, without me saying to them, I provoked you to do this, I made you do this, they just do it, that makes them crazy, not me. And it ain't got nothing to do with how I respond to it or how I choose to live my life. It ain't got nothing to do with none of that. They started the crazy. I didn't start the crazy. They did.
So if their craziness makes me go from 0 to 100 and potentially ruin my life because I got beef with what they said about me on social media. I got beef about this. I got beef about that. And now I'm going to take action. So if I go from 0 to 100 because of what you say or do, am I just as crazy?
That's a separate point from what I was making. You made that point. That wasn't the point. You added that point for whatever reason you thought necessary to this conversation. That wasn't my point. My point was very simply that there are times when there are people who are, like you said earlier, flat out crazy, and they do crazy-ish. And they push that crazy on us. Now, if you want to add the point to, but we do have to respond the right way, I'll concede that. But that had nothing to do with what I was talking about. Nothing at all.
When you give people place in your life to affect your disposition, then you, my sir and my ma'am, you are a victim. When you take back that power and don't allow people to affect you, then you are the victor.
Well, that was real pastoral of you, Pastor Todd. We
appreciate
it.
I'm simply saying.
I don't disagree. You keep saying it like I'm disagreeing. I'm not. What I'm saying is that has nothing to do with somebody's choice, the individual choice of being crazy first. Because there are a lot of people.
Doesn't matter.
It matters quite a bit.
Just because you crazy, do I have to act a fool?
No, that's right.
The only time the pushing of the button is going to affect me is if the button is up my ass and you actually stick your finger up my ass to get the button.
That's not true.
I'm going to have to act a fool. Because what you ain't going to do is penetrate me.
How did I respond to that? I don't even know how to respond to that. I just,
other than that, you will not get a reaction out of me. You're not going to take me from 0 to 100 what you say.
Because if somebody catches you on the street and they ram their car into your brand new truck, they are going to get a reaction out of you. You are not. I'm sorry. I apologize. But if they run into your,
he could be speaking figuratively. Let's move on.
Right, you the one told me. I just
everybody don't need to know. Nobody knows.
Nobody knew until you said confirmed. No, I just said out loud.
It was figuratively speaking.
I was using an example.
Okay.
I'm saying if they did, for example, run into you at a brand new truck, they're going to get a reaction out of you. There are some people that will try to build a button in your life to trigger you. They will, because they are crazy.
But that's okay for people to try to get a reaction out of you. That's why most Wahites use that word, because they're trying to get a reaction out of you. They're trying.
Did you say it was okay?
You. I don't know if it's okay, but it is a reality.
I mean, you did just say it was okay.
You said that. I said, is that okay?
You said.
I said what?
You said it was okay.
I said it was okay for them to do that?
You did.
To try to get a reaction out of us, you said.
No. That's why they do it, is to try to get it. I'm not saying it's okay for anybody
I got you.
To try to lower somebody. I'm not saying that. I'm saying
we were trying to clarify for the people in the back.
Okay, that's why they do it.
Right.
Okay. Doesn't mean it's right But that's why.
But that was my point earlier. Some people will try to build the buttons to provoke you into a crazy response. That's their goal, is to provoke you into something. Now, I understand what you.
And some people are forever a victim, and they will succumb to those button pushing folks.
So you're saying there are ways to avoid it. That's what you're trying to allude to.
Your reaction to whatever happens is yours and yours alone. Now, if you go out there and act a fool, then that's your response. If you go out there and handle it like somebody with some sense, then that's your response. You're in control of you, nobody else. Stop giving your power to other people. Now, I don't know why that's controversial. I don't know why that's problematic.
Because you are an oak. Let me just tell you. Because most people, when someone does something to them, they have a reaction.
I understand what you're saying.
The high 90%, I would say 95% of society is going to react when something is done to them.
But what did you teach your daughters?
What am I teaching my daughters?
What did you teach your daughters, babies, when you go down there to the schoolhouse? Help me out, Mama Noise. When you go down there to the schoolhouse and Susie runs her mouth on you, talking that noise and say this and that about you, don't you haul off and hit Susie. You are in control of your response to what Susie says about you. You come tell daddy, you go tell the teacher, you go tell the principal, but don't you hit Susie because Susie's talking that shit. Now, when we become adults, all of a sudden, we forget what we've taught our kids. And now people say shit and we ready to fly off the handle.
Do you have the same?
As if we still in elementary school.
That's a terrible example. That's a terrible example because what Susie said might not be exactly what Susie did. And what Susie said may not be crazy. It just may be wrong. Just because Susie said she don't like my dress or I'm fat or I'm this, you're right. That does not deserve a quote unquote reaction. But if Susie comes in and says, you trifling ass nigga, I'll whoop your ass, that might deserve a reaction.
I don't think I expect her to say, you know what? I'm telling the teacher.
If Susie charges at my daughter.
No. Ain't nobody said nothing about no charging that.
We're talking about crazy. We're talking about crazy. We're not talking about aggression.
We're talking about you behind your back, running her mouth on you to other people. What did you teach your daughter's response to be?
I have told her
Susie's ass.
I have. Listen. If Susie crosses too many lines, my daughters have permission to whoop somebody's ass.
Your daughters, don't talk that shit now that they're older. What did you teach them when they were younger? To keep your hands to yourself, unless Susie charges you or hauls off and hits you.
Right.
Put your hands on Susie. Is that what you told them?
Okay, but you're trying to normalize crazy, and that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about crazy. We're talking about crazy. You're trying to push this to a different kind of conversation. That's not the conversation we're talking about. We're not talking about verbal conflict.
We're talking about being in control of your response.
No. We are not talking about that. You are talking about that. I said when people build buttons.
Drink your water, folks.
No. I'm good on the water. Damn that.
Oh my gosh.
I am talking about when people build buttons to provoke you. That's what I said. That's how this whole thing started. They build the buttons because they're crazy. So they go, and building buttons to me is an extreme act. It's saying, I am doing this for the sole purpose of trying to make you react.
To fuck with you.
I didn't say it like that. That's not. Boy, you know what?
Sometimes you got.
Let me just say something.
You got to break it down.
Let me say something to you. Let me say something to you, Pastor. Your church is real aggressive, and I don't. You and your members, Ron, y'all aggressive, man. You don't talk like that.
Have a desire daily to fuck with you. Now,
how about that?
Oh man,
them to do that to you?
Yeah, Zara, you might need to mute and moderate.
I hear what you're
Are
saying.
you
Pastor.
going to allow that to happen?
Am I going to allow that to happen? I don't want to.
So you
I
gonna
really
stop
don't.
by whooping their ass?
I mean, possibly.
Oh my gosh.
You just asked crazy because now your ass in the jailhouse and your family's sitting there wondering, where's daddy? He locked up
Okay.
for assault.
Oh,
He locked
no.
up for assault.
Are you really trying to come on this screen and say to us that if somebody goes to an extreme level with you, an extreme level, because that's what I was talking about. I don't know what you're talking about with all this other nonsense. I'm talking about button pushing. Like I'm trying to provoke you to the
What's
to the
extreme,
end.
man? The word nigga is extreme, correct?
So you're not gonna fight nobody on nigga. That's what you're saying.
No. Hell,
Okay.
and no other word.
But if they draw nigga on your brand new truck, are you gonna
What is happening?
What's
I'm-
brand new truck?
if you had one.
I can't do it.
This is a great
Oh my
Let me
gosh.
tell you something. If you listen to this podcast every day, shame on you. This is
Oh
a
my
hell of a
gosh.
podcast. I'm trying to tell you.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh, I can't.
You're not gonna do nothing. You just gonna let them write nigga on your truck. You just gonna ride around with nigga all on your truck.
The day you
Because I'm not gonna let anybody provoke me. Your daughter come up, hey baby, what's this? Oh, they just wrote nigga on my truck. No big deal.
Listen.
Oh, here
The
you
day
go.
you see me out in the streets fighting somebody for any other reason than protecting my family is the day you can say that nigga that done gone crazy. Because that's not who I am. I don't care what you do. Unless you have endangered my family, we ain't gonna be out there in them streets fighting.
Oh my gosh.
What if it is an endangerment to your family?
By the way, I'm
Go ahead.
52 years old. And
Yes, sir.
God, honest, I promise you truth, is I've never been in a fight a day in my life.
Wow.
Ever.
Wow.
He is an oak.
Well, then you truly are an oak.
Ever. Simply because my parents taught me, don't you be down there at the schoolhouse putting your hands on nobody else's.
But you wasn't in school your whole life. So what about the rest of it?
I took that lesson and moved it into adulthood. I'm out here fighting somebody. Fighting? For what?
Well, that's true, because you wasn't fighting, but you certainly was.
Yeah, you're a lover, not a fighter. That's for sure.
In the literal sense of the word. I'm just saying. Okay.
Wow. And Charlotte don't believe you. She said you be telling people her location all the time. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening right now. This is a fantastic discussion. We really got to revisit it because this is really good.
Oh my gosh.
What we doing tomorrow, Mama Noise? Oh, that's right. We celebrating all things black tomorrow, Jay. All things black. We're gonna have the blackest show we've ever had tomorrow.
Well, I bet out of 10.
You are the epitome of black, sir. Look at you. I mean, you're a black man living in black America, doing black things.
Bliggity black.
I'm not
Come
nearly
on
as
now.
black as I wanted to be, though.
You black, y'all. He's black, y'all.
You gotta be blacker than this.
I wanted to be blacker.
Well, where your dashiki at?
I wanted to be an activist when I was younger. I wanted to be everything to be black. Just show that I'm a proud black man, but I really haven't lived that life necessarily.
Well, you still got time.
Nah, fuck it.
You know what, Jay? I think you are a black man.
Wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. You just missed it that fast? Like you gave up on the dream that fast?
I had a dream.
Right.
What is Mr. Dirk saying?
You won't fight. That's the problem.
Boom, boom.
Oh, I can fight.
I don't know. 'Cause you said you ain't never had it.
How do you know? How do you know? You ain't never had one.
That's right.
Let me help you out. When I was in the ARMY, I was in charge of my soldiers, my unit. And I was an asshole in the military. I just want to make sure that's clear of who I
You
was.
don't say.
I didn't play games. The rules were the rules, and I pushed them all the way. You were going to do what you're supposed to do if you were under me. Well, I would ultimately piss off 1 or 2 soldiers, 3 or 4 soldiers. And they'd be talking their shit, talking about Sergeant Joyner this, and Sergeant Joyner that. So I tell you what, since you're so pissed, why don't you come on out here and let's all get in a circle. You bring your ass on in the circle. To show you that you all talk.
And did they come in the circle?
And one would get so old. He said, "Well, I ain't gonna do it by myself, Sergeant. I'm gonna get so and so and so and so." He just as pissed at both of y'all. Come on.
Did they ever come to the circle?
And I raised my hand to God. I never lost a battle.
Wait a minute, Joe Clark.
That means you were a fighter.
No. I've never been in a fight. That was us wrestling. Me, I would what I would ultimately do is I would embarrass them. I'll put them on the ground and hold them there and make them do.
Let them lose consciousness.
I've seen things, but anyway,
that's a fight, bro.
No, that's not a fight. A fight is me out of anger out there fighting in the streets. This was a circle. This was legal. I never got in trouble because it's legal.
What was legal about it?
Come on, trial Sarge. I'm gonna show you. I've never been in a fight, but I have proven that I can handle myself.
So what you said is you restrained some people because they were a danger to themselves and others.
All I'm telling you is I ain't never been no PAN.
We gotta go. We gotta end this show today because you have really escalated this thing. Derek said you can't call yourself a baker. You ain't never made no cake. That's all he trying to say. That's all he trying to say.
Facts. Tell him.
This has been a fun show. It really has. I have thoroughly enjoyed myself. Y'all come back tomorrow. We're gonna do it all over again. My goodness. Man, escalated quickly today. I just can't believe you gave up on the blackness that fast. We'll be back tomorrow. Just gave up on it. He just said,
forget it.
Hey, what he said, Mama Doy.
I tried to be tactful.
That is not the word he used. He really did say that. He went a different way.
I heard it the first time.
All right. Y'all come back tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. Y'all have a good one. Talkin' NOIZ.